All right, shalom. This is Kanaksa Banya Shirala from the Lions Den Camp. First and foremost, I'd like to say Kah Halayim, La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Harakakar Dash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. All right, and this lesson is going to be on the quick topic of one of the things that solidified me in this truth when I first came in was Deuteronomy 28, because the elder Harawan, he was one that brought me into this truth. I had heard a couple times before, but it was all about timing, and at that opportune moment, that's when he gave me the things that I needed to know in order to bring me in. And his second night talking to me, he's like, if you want total clarification, read Deuteronomy 28. And when I read Deuteronomy 28, it just kind of blew me over. I'm like, wow, that's the things that our people go through on a daily basis. And and it's still, these curses follow throughout generation to generation, and we will not be able to escape them until we get salvation. So I just want to go through Deuteronomy 28. You know what I'm saying? This is no heavy hitter, no deep breakdown or anything like that. It's mainly for those that believe, man, and that want to understand them. Like, why do we keep going through this? Why are we the first ones fired and the last ones hired and all these different types of things? So that's what it gave clarification for me. It answered a lot of questions, and I'm pretty sure there's people out there that really believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, like, that want some sort of understanding. Lord willing, it's edifying and it serves its purpose. All right, so we're gonna get started, because Deuteronomy 28, the first verse all the way to the 14th verse, talks about the blessings that we will get if we listen to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, that's only 14 verses. All right, but if you think about it, it doesn't take much to put somebody in the heavenly state. But like, especially Jake, it takes a lot to put us in a hellish state, because Jake will try to find heaven in anything. You put Jake in poverty. Now everybody wants to live in the hood because Jake is having fun in the hood. Like, you don't see Jake jumping out of windows because they're in a poorish condition. I was watching the Chappelle show, the new Chappelle stand up, and he told his dad, he was like, man, I hate being poor. He's like, yo, you're not poor. Poor is a condition, a state of mind. Or you can be impoverished, but to be poor is a state of mind. Like, and he made a good point where he said that the difference between poor or broke black people and broke white people have this facade or thought or it's to me it's arrogancy in their mind that this shouldn't be happening to them. But Jake knows that's one of Jake's problems. Jake knows how to adapt. But one thing about adapting, sometimes you can turn adaptation into settling. All right. So basically, we're not poor, but we're under the curses, right? But we're still rich even under these curses, right? Let me get this real quick before I get started in the Deuteronomy. Because Yahweh Hashem Yahushai had to put us in this state for us to get the message, for us to turn back to Him. He had to put this much hell on us for us to turn back to Him. This is Deuteronomy Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. All right, so he knows the conditions, the hellish conditions that we're going through, but we have a hope, we have a cause. All right, we are rich, because if we're out here doing this, laboring in this truth, right? We have a reward waiting on us, But what about these people that are in this heavenly state, or may even be impoverished in this lifestyle, and they don't have any hope? Period, point blank whatsoever. But we have the hope. of faith and deliverance, all right, in the kingdom. Even for the ones that don't make it on this side, they're going to be born into the kingdom. So we have ultimate hope as a nation of Israel, as the peculiar people of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you know. But however, these curses are going to follow us throughout generations until we reach that ending point and we get it delivered into salvation. All right, but the thing about it is, but we're not poor, man. Even though in the sight of all that, we're still rich. You know, we still have the kingdom. We still have the promise of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And that's a beautiful thing. Our hope is not in vain. All right. And our condition is not in vain. But it was all a cleansing process to put us in the state of mind of where we need to be in. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with this. And I'm going to read Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon you, or come upon thee and overtake thee. All right, so in the 68 curses, well, 60, we can say 67 curses, versus 14 blessings that we will get for listening to the law, statutes, and commandments. But that just shows how strict and compassionate Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is in chastising whom he loves. All right, and all these curses were placed upon us to turn us back to him. All right, they were placed upon us for correction. Okay. So if you don't want to listen to the word, listen to his law, statutes, and commandments, this is the life you're going to live. All right. Once you listen to the law, statutes, and commandments, this is the life you're going to live. All right. And it's so simple. It's so simple. All right. Verse 16, it says, cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed thou shalt be in the field. All right. It says, cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. All right. So everything we put our hands upon is cursed. It's going to be cursed. It's going to be taken away from us. Look at refrigeration, open heart surgery, brain surgery, the traffic light, cotton gin. All these things were created by Jake, right? And we don't even get any recognition for it. You know, everything that we put our hands on is cursed. Black Wall Street, cursed. Everything's going to come to a crumbling destruction. Everything that we think we can prosper in is going to come crumbling down, because why? These curses are going to overtake us no matter where we go. You can't flee from the judgment of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. It says, cursed shall be the fruit of thy body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind and the flocks of thy sheep. Cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed thou shalt be when thou goest out. It says, so it doesn't matter where you go. All right, it says, the Lord shall send upon thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke, and that thou sittest thine hand unto. All right, so no matter what we put our hands on, no matter how well we think we can prosper in it, look at all the things that we do. Like Jake is number one in everything, but it becomes a curse unto us because of why? Because for one, because the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. And the wicked devours everything that we try to prosper in. All right? He ain't going to leave no grapes on the ground. He ain't going to leave no grapes. He's going to pick up all the grapes. So all the reaping that we do in the vineyard, right, gathering grapes, Esau's going to take them. All right? And there's nothing we can do about it because we're under these curses. All right? It says, the Lord shall send thee cursing, vexation, and rebuke in all in all that thou sittest thine hand unto, for to do until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. And we forsaken him by turning our backs on his law, statutes, and commandments, ultimately turning our backs on him. It says, the Lord shall make them pestilence cleave unto thee until he have consumed thee off the land whether thou goest to possess it. So that's why we were kicked out of Israel. All right. So, like it says in Ezekiel, like I shall send the worst of the heathen, and he shall possess your houses. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 24. It says, wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses, and I will also make the pomp of thy strong to cease, and their holy places shall be defiled. All right. All right, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. All right, so we will, as long as we're under these curses, just like he said, he'll send the worst of the heathen. The worst of the heathen is the chief house of Esau, and that's Amalek, the fake Jews that are in our land today. All right. So they possess our houses, man. All right, and it says, verse 22. I said, Deuteronomy 28 and 22. It says, the Lord shall smite thee with a consumption, and with a fever, and with the inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou hast perished. And that goes back to what is it? Psalms 83. Let us cut them off, so Israel, the name of Israel shall be no more in remembrance, man. All right, and all these other nations had a part in the consumption of Israel. All right, it says in the verse 23. It says, "And the heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth is under thy feet shall be iron. The Lord shall make the rain of thy land pour in dust, powder and dust from the heaven shall it come down upon thee until it be destroyed. The Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go one way against them, and flee 7 ways before them, and shall be removed unto the kingdoms of the earth." And so we're scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. No matter how much we try to rise against and rebel, and we could Black Panthers. No, it doesn't matter what it's doing. Tulsa, Oklahoma is a prime example, right? When everybody's going through the Great Depression. Over there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they had their own busing system, schooling system, had everything going, but it was destroyed, man, because the Most High was like, yo, you're not going to be able to prosper in this land without me. You're not going to be able to prosper anywhere without me. So the best thing for you to do is focus on turning back to me, not focus on trying to do everything yourself. All right? Verse 26, and thy carcasses shall be meat unto all the fowls of the air, and unto the beasts of the earth, and no man shall fray them away. Now, if you think about it, like during the time when they used to hang us all the time, like the birds used to eat our flesh, man. Our bodies used to be laying there lifeless, soulless, no soul. Spirit just gone, so there's no soul there. When the birds just eat us away, and they would sit there and laugh and mock us, mocking the dead, because we were physically dead and spiritually dead. All right. Okay. Verse 27 said, "The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch. Wherefore thou canst not be healed." All right. "The Lord shall smite thee with madness and astonishment of heart." And that madness is just us falling away from who we are. Like, what is it? Jeremiah 17 and 4. It says, "We shall be discontinued from their heritage as what you once knew." All right. So we'll be in the congregation of the dead because why? The knowledge, wisdom, and understanding was taken away. "Thou shalt grope in noondays as the blind grope in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee." So, like, even with, like when we came over here to America, they would take our women, take our children right in front of our faces and we couldn't do nothing about it. You know, look at the Native Americans. Even though they evaded Assyrian captivity, what happened? They was over here in the land of Ashereth, America, and then guess who shows up? So-called white man. Boom, there you go. You can't escape the judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And we'll be forever oppressed, man. Until our Redeemer, no man's gonna save us. The only one that can save us is Yahushua, man. Because that's what he was set up to do. To deliver. That's what his name means. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. And that's what they were doing during the time of slavery, man. Our women were their bed wenches, and they would send them right back in the cabinets with us. You know, after they done did whatever they wanted to do with our women. Imagine that, though, man. But that's a severe punishment. That's how upset Yahweh Shem Yahushua was for us not listening. All right. It says, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant vineyards, and not gather the grapes thereof. All right? And that's what we're doing in slavery. We built America, man. We built America. Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be. So everything that we have is going to be taken away from us, including our children, man. Our women and children, and our possessions. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. And look at what all those children being, Northern Kingdom children being in the concentration camps, taken away from their parents, man. And they did that during the time of slavery. They would take our kids, and feed them to the alligators. Call them gator bait, our children. We had to sit there and watch that and couldn't do nothing. There was no might in our hands, man. But Yahweh Shem Yahushua has a judgment for this devil, man, for all the atrocities that he has done. That's what we have hope and we have faith in. All right, matter of fact. I mean, think about it, though. Esau still has to pay for what he's done, Let me get, all right, this is, get two of them. Revelation chapter 13, verse 10, it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, man. And that's our patience. And we have faith in that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to redeem us for all the things that this so-called white man, which is the devil, has done. Because he thinks he got away with it. There's Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. It says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. All right? And the Most High is going to rise up against this devil, man, for everything that he's done to the children of Israel, man. All right? Verse 32, Deuteronomy 28 and 32, it says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hands. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall be a nation. Labors shall be a nation which thou knowest not. Shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and cursed all way. And that's how we are against the so-called white man. So that thou, because you look at it, Jake makes the music industry, man, but Esau, Amalek owns it. We're the best actors, singers, everything. Basketball player, every sports player, sports figure, everything. But Esau owns it. All right, so he reaps all the benefits of it. All right. It says, verse 34, it says, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see. The Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, all right, which is King David, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. All right. So that nation was Babylon, but America is the daughter of Babylon, Babylon the Great. All right. And wood and stone. Look at Islam and Christianity, the two biggest religions followed by Jake. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword amongst all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. All right. Astonishment. All right. And a proverb and a byword, meaning that we're no longer going to be called the nation of Israel. This is this is Jeremiah 24:9. It says, and I will deliver them to be removed unto all the kingdoms of the earth, for their hurt to be a reproach and a proverb and a taunt and a curse in all places whither I shall drive them. I will send the sword, the famine, and the pestilence among them, till they be consumed from the land that I gave unto them and to their fathers. So we're not going to see Israel again physically until we get delivered and placed back in that land, man. All right. This is Deuteronomy 28:38. It said, thou shalt carry much seed out into the field, and shall gather but little in, for the locust shall consume it. And locust is Esau, man. Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shall neither drink of the wine nor of the grapes, for the worms shall eat them. That's talking about Esau too, man. Let me get two scriptures. First, I want to give Obadiah 1:5. It says, if thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they have not stolen till they had enough? If grape gatherers came to thee, would they not have left some grapes? All right, but Esau ain't gonna leave nothing. Esau devours and takes everything away from us, man. That's what he does. Let me get a Let me find this other scripture real quick. All right, let me get Jeremiah 49:9. It says, if grapes gatherers come to thee, would they have not left some grapes, gleaning grapes? If these by night they will destroy till they had enough. But I have made Esau bare, and I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. And so that's what's going to happen to Esau, man. All right, and because he takes away everything that we try to prosper in. So we can't have any prosperity in this kingdom, man. Because it wasn't set up. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. So in order for you to prosper in this land, in this kingdom, you have to be wicked, man. All right. This is Haggai 1:6. It says, "Yea, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink." And that's not because we're greedy. That's because we're malnourished and on this earth, like physically. So only way we can get nourishment is through the scriptures, man. That's how we get nourishment, through the scriptures, from the milk to the meat. All right. It says, "Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earns wages to put it in a bag with holes," man. So there's no prospering in this society, man. Because it's like, as soon as we put it in our pocket, it's gonna fall right back on down to the ground, and Esau's gonna pick it up because we put it in a bag with holes, man. All right. Matter of fact, let me get James chapter 5. This is James chapter 5, verse 4. It says, "Behold, the hires of the laborers which have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth out, and the cries of them have reaped and entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth." So all this that he's doing unto us, the Lord's going to pay him back for that, man. All right. Verse Deuteronomy 28:39 says, "Thou shalt plant vineyards and dress them, but shall neither drink of the wine nor gather the grapes, for the worms shall eat them. Thou shalt have olive trees throughout all thy coast, but thou shalt not anoint thyself with the oil, for the oil shall cast his fruit. Thou shalt begot sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity." That's right. Like, that's how as soon as a child is born, it ain't even came out the womb good. Then you got the woman come around with the computer, getting the child's information, getting the birth certificate together for you to sign the rights over to the state. All right. It says, "All the trees of the fruit of thy land shall the locust consume. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low." And now, who is that stranger? Talking about Esau, man. "He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail." All right. "But those that are last shall become first through deliverance of Yahweh Shem Yahushua." It says, "Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee." And that's all we have to do. But guess what? He's going to make sure we don't go off no more when we get these new bodies, and he's going to put the laws in our inward parts. All right? "And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, because thou servest not the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things." So that's why when you're in this truth, you can't act like this truth is a burden. This truth actually lifts a burden off your shoulders, man. The burden is these jobs. The burden is dealing with this society. That's what the burden is. The burden is not the word, man. It's not going out and teaching. It's not doing these lessons. That's not the burden. That's actually should be a joyful thing unto you. All right. That should be your scapegoat. That should be your zen, your peace. All right. Because what does the scripture say? "This is the rest where I call the weary to rest." All right. This is the scripture doing this work is what really gives us hope. All right. Verse 48, it says, "Therefore thou shalt serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things." So yeah, right. So we got to go to Esau for everything. All right, no matter how much we say we hate the so-called white man and the devil, yeah, but the Most High set it up to where now you got to go look at him in his face to get all the things you need. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, and he shall destroy thee. And how did he destroy us? By making sure we didn't understand this, have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. That's how. This is Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest unto me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. All right. So those curses are gonna follow behind us. Ain't like you're gonna leave this earth. You know what I'm saying? And you come back and the curses be gone. The curse is gonna be there until we get delivered. All right. Verse 49, Deuteronomy 28:49, it said, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle fleeth, and a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. So when we didn't understand what the so-called white man was talking about when we were taking off this western coast of Africa. All right. It says, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the persons of the old, nor show favor to the young. So Esau didn't care what he did to us, an older, young, man or woman. All right. It says, he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee neither corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. All right. And he did that to Gad too. Man, it was like millions of buffalo over here before Esau got here and started killing them. It says, and he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, and until the high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy power hath given thee. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body, the flesh of thy own sons, of thy daughters, which the Lord thy power hath given thee, in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thy enemy shall distress thee, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother. And you see that's why you see Jake killing Jake all the time, because Jake's so oppressed and mad and fucked up and confused, man, because of how this shit's going. They don't even know who to take it out on, so they take it out on their own people. All right. It says, and toward the wife of thy bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. All right. And like you have a child in this society, the Jake woman turned against the man, and the man turned his back on the children. All right. It says, so that we will not give any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he have nothing left him in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, her delicacy and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughters. And you seeing this right now, man. There's no such thing as structure in the household with Jake, man. Unless they acting like Esau. All right. And towards her young ones that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children which she shall bear, she shall eat them for want of all things, secretly in the siege and straits wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in thy gates. And you see how like these women like try to, you do have Jake men out there that's trying to do for their children, but these women devour their children by using the children, to get back at the man. verse 58 says, if thou would not observe to do the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear the glorious and fearful name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that power, then the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues of long continuous and sore sickness and long continuous. Moreover, he will bring upon thee the distress of Egypt. And we were going through in Egypt hardcore bondage, and we're going through it again, which thou was afraid of, and they shall cleave unto thee. Also every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of the law, then will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. And that's crazy, because like things that weren't even written, some of the things that weren't even written in here, are some of the plagues that went forth. There was so many plagues, he didn't write them all down. Verse 62, and it said, ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for a multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord. All right, so half of us either dead or in jail. There's a few remnant that's out here doing the right thing. Half of us are either physically dead, spiritually dead, or in jail. But there's a small remnant that are alive spiritually and physically. All right. Verse 62 again, it says, and ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for a multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy power. What time is it? All right, got no time. All right. Shlaki. And it shall come to pass that as the Lord rejoice over you to do you good and to multiply you, so the Lord rejoice over you to destroy you and bring you to naught, and ye shall be plucked from the land whither thou goest to possess it. All right. So he wasn't gonna cut us off physically, but he cut us off spiritually, right? But now he's bringing us back, man. That's the beautiful thing about it. All right. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And we're the only people that fit these curses, man. We're the only nation, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native American, that this is lining up to. Everybody wants to find their own portion and their own part of the Bible that relates to them, but it doesn't relate to none of these other nations, but it only relates to the children of Israel, man. To us. All right? The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And the speckled bird of the Israelite foreigners that look like these other nations. All right, verse 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and a failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. All right? Now I'm going to come back to that verse. That's the last verse I want to read, and I want to read a verse after that. And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. In the morning thou shalt say, would Yahweh it were more evening, and at the evening thou shalt say, would Yahweh it were morning. Like, and that's how we would. Like, when we wake up in the morning, like, man, I can't wait for the day to be over. What I'm saying? You're working at night, man, I can't wait for in the morning. That's how we are. All right? For the fear of thy heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see. All right? And this is a big one right here, right? This what gave me total clarification. Like, we're the children of Israel, all right? It says, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way thereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. All right, and everybody know how where Egypt and Israel is. They don't take no ships again to get there, but but Egypt comes from the word Egyptos, that means be encircled or ghetto, enclosed. All right. Which that's a form of restraint or bondage, slavery. All right, because Egypt is known as the house of bondage in the scriptures. Okay, and we're the only ones that fit that. We're the only ones that went through that. Our ancestors went through that, and that was for us to be to this point that we are today. So I want to go back to verse 65 real quick. All right, it says, and among the nations, this is Deuteronomy 28 and 65. It says, and among the nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest. But the Lord shall give thee a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. All right. So, but that's a terrible thing. But we shall be delivered out of that, man. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get two scriptures to close it out. Let me get Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 5. It says, for thus saith the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear and not of peace. All right. Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travaileth with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces turn into paleness. All right, going back to Deuteronomy 28 and 65 again, it says, and among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy feet have rest. But the Lord shall give thee a trembling heart and failing eyes of sorrow and of mind. All right, but we're going to be saved from that. All right, back to Jeremiah 30 and 7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And that's beautiful, because all these curses that the Lord put upon us, he's going to show us that much mercy and deliverance, man. How about Shimei, I was shy, man. All right, I'm going to close it out with this. This is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. It says, all right, behold, I have created, no, Slakia, wrong one. Isaiah 51 and 22, it says, thus saith the Lord, in thy power that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again, but I will put into the hands of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street to them that went over. So these curses that came upon us, all right, the Most High is going to deliver it to them in the name of Yahweh Shimei Shai, and that's a beautiful thing. With that being said, I want to say Kal Halayim La Yahweh, by Shimei Shai, by Shem Harikak Wadash Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Shimei Shai. We're almost out of here. Shalom.